You're listening to Gearing Up, an everyday carry podcast. This is a show that's dedicated to highlighting members and makers of the everyday carry community that are doing really awesome things. If you're into knives, gear, and talking about what's going on in the hobby, this is the show for you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gearing Up. This is the Everyday Carry podcast where we talk about everyday carry stuff. Today, of course, is no exception. Welcome back to the videos. I'm still going to make a deal out of this until it's not different anymore. It still feels different, but if you're listening, definitely go check out YouTube. You can just search Gearing Up Podcasts, and you can find the channel and the videos that I'm posting and things like that. So today's episode is going to be kind of a mixed bag. I wanted to go through quite a few things and talk about some new acquisitions and some ideas and things like that. The first thing that I wanted to do is talk about something that I was right about, kind of, so far, asterisk. So in my predictions episode at the beginning of the year, I said that this would be a great year for fixed blade knives, and that is turning out to be true. So my first point today, pun intended, it's a great year for fixed blades already. So this is the Fixie from Justin Lundquist and QB knives. I'm not sure exactly how to say it, but it is a super thin, super minimal little fixed blade. Comes with the Kydex sheath and all of that, but I saw this on Justin's feed, and I was like, I gotta get it. And I think retail on these is like $80. I just got it today, and I've really been enjoying it. So I got the Ultim version. So the handle material is Ultim, and it's got a nice texture sort of milled into it, and nice full flat grind. So this is my latest fixed blade acquisition and latest EDC purchase. That is the Fixie from Justin Lundquist and QB Knives. And so that, along with two recent announcements. Number one, there is the Wii Banter, which was Ben Peterson's first knife design before he went into NAFs and all of that. The Banter is getting a Warney release, and if you guys listen to my episode about Warneys, you know I'm a fan. So I haven't decided if I'm going to pick it up. I think that of the NAFs knives that are in my collection, the Banter probably gets carried the least. It's the larger of all of them, so no surprise there. But the Warney variant sounds really cool, so it might be worth checking out. And in addition to that, Ben just launched the Kickstarter for the Lander 3. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Lander. I have two of them. It's just a rock-solid budget knife, and the idea behind it and all of the things that Ben did to make it accessible, make it repairable, make it customizable. Like, it's such a cool premise for a knife, and it's interesting to see a knife maker, knife designer take that approach. And the Lander 2 came out, and it was basically, I feel like it was most of the things that Ben wanted out of the Lander. That, you know, like at the time he couldn't do the axis lock or clutch lock or whatever the heck it's called, and a few other things. But the Lander 2 was larger than I would prefer. I don't know the blade length off the top of my head, but it's a 3 or 3.1 or 3.2 inch knife, but it's larger. And it's not large, but it's larger than the Lander. So I wanted to check it out. I almost pulled the trigger on it. And then, lo and behold, yesterday, I see the Kickstarter for the Lander 3 announced. And of course, Ben absolutely blew it up. It hit its goal so quickly. I missed the early bird. I'm still trying to decide how much trouble I want to be in for backing it. But it's one that I'm really excited about because I love the Lander. I love the size, and I think with a little bit better blade steel, I think it says 35VN, and then the axis lock and you know, all the goodness of the Lander, but in that size that I like, So I think the Lander 3 is going to be a huge success, and I'm really excited. And so those two knives and this fixed blade go to a couple of my predictions. So I said it was going to be a good year for fixed blades, and I said we were going to see some variations of popular models. So like the Warney Banter and the Lander 3, right? Just I said we were going to see some variations, and I think those two examples are, again, hopefully one of many that we're going to see. And I'm curious what it's going to end up doing for my collection between now and the end of the year. Hopefully not a whole lot, because this many knives continue to come out. It's going to be rough. So anyways, that's a quick update on latest acquisitions and what's going on. One bit of knife news that I saw today. So The Gathering, which I had intended on doing an episode about, has been postponed. I read through the email. I've never been super involved with USN or like been on there or anything, but my understanding is that it's always been at the same place in Vegas, and after like 15 years, they're going to be looking for a new home. They didn't say much more than that in the email, but because of logistics, and this is something I've kind of been talking about as we talk about big knife shows, the logistics are no joke. Like that's a huge thing to have to overcome. And so just based on the timeline and the logistics and all of that stuff, they weren't going to be able to secure anywhere that was going to work in 2024. So this year's show has been postponed. So maybe we'll still do an episode about The Gathering, but I'll do it a little bit closer to next year's show, and we'll kind of dive into what makes it different. And I'll obviously do my homework, but I may reach out and see if anyone from the USN organization wants to come and chat, because I'd love to talk to someone mostly just about the logistics behind getting a show like that off the ground, making it happen, and what kind of considerations you have to think about that most of, myself included, most of us don't realize or don't think about. So I'd be interested in hearing that. All right, now this one's going to be a little different. This section's going to be a little different. I am going to share an idea with you. And the reason I want to do this is something that has changed what I do and how I do it, like EDC wise, for something that's very specific and very niche, but I think might be a cool idea. So I wanted to share it. So let me set the stage. So my wife and I have our own vehicles. I drive mine, she drives hers. Everybody's good. Every now and then though, I need to run to the store and she's parked behind me, or I got to take the baby to a doctor's appointment and I have a tiny car that his car seat doesn't fit in. Like all three of the boys' car seats don't fit in, and I drive the two older boys around more often. So anyways, so there are times, basically what I'm getting at is there are times where I need to take April's car, or there are times, so like when we go out as a family, we take her car because everybody fits in it nicely. And when we go out, I don't like driving. I don't like driving. I especially don't like driving at night. And it's one of those things where I just get overwhelmed very quickly. And so when we go out, April drives. She likes to drive. She would rather drive because I drive like a grandpa. And so that's fine. Like, we'll let her drive then. And what I've found is over time, like when I get in her car, I'm always missing something. So now between the kids' tablets and her phone, because she's got the newer iPhone that's got USB-C, I'm the only one that uses Lightning. And so I've got to make sure I've got a Lightning cable. I was like, I need to put together a Go pouch for April's car. And I did. And it's been wonderful. Maybe this isn't a groundbreaking idea. Maybe this isn't something new. But to me, this is like peak EDC usefulness. So I started off with a Data Crew pouch, and it was a little small for what I had in mind. And then I went to the All Good pouch from Notorious EDC, and it was great. But then I was like, man, this pouch is going to sit. So I don't want a pouch that I like and that I actually want to use for myself. I just need to find something that cheap not attached to, not fancy, no bells and whistles, anything like that. And so what I landed on was this pouch. So we'll go through it. This is my go pouch for April's car. And the idea is I've got a pouch packed with things that I need or want or would like to have, don't want to have to think about it, and everything just lives here and it stays here. But the pouch, so going over the pouch first, there is absolutely nothing fancy about this pouch. This is one that I found online. It was like, I don't know, $8 or something. And it's not fancy at all. And I was okay with that because, again, it's not going to see a lot of wear and tear. I'm not going to carry it a ton. I did throw a Night Eyes carabiner on it, which has already come in handy a couple of times. So that's just going to live there. And then on the outside, I've got a pen, nothing fancy. This is I think it's a Bic. Yeah, but it's one that's got red, green, blue, and black ink. I had it, and it's not one that I care about. It's not a particularly fancy or expensive pen. So there's a pen that lives in here, and I don't have to think about it. But then on the outside, we've also got a couple other pockets, and I love having the ability to drop something in here. So, larger pocket on the back. If I want to drop a knife or something in there before I walk out the door, I can. Smaller knives obviously can go in the little smaller pouch up front, but there's pockets on the outside, so I can add some of my stuff, whatever I'm carrying for the day, and I don't have to think about it. What's really important is what's on the inside. Now, this is one pocket, one zipper, no dividers, nothing fancy inside. So I'm gonna just take stuff out, walk through it, and kind of explain each of them. But there's nothing to really show here. So shout out to the folks listening on the pod. So the first thing, chapstick. I am really basic, and if I don't have chapstick and my lips even seem like they might get chapped, my day is ruined. So I want to make sure that I've always got some. The other thing, as someone that wears glasses, lens wipes. They're just single use, clean my lenses. The other thing that I threw in here that I think you guys might like is a little classic SD from, let me figure out where I'm going. From Victorinox. This is a Leica branded one. This was given to me by a coworker, and it's just really nice to have scissors and a small blade. I use the scissors probably more than anything else. And then additionally, I've got a bright red USB-C cable. So if I bring my iPad, I've got a cable, and a bright blue. It doesn't look as bright here, but I have a bright blue lightning cable. So the colors are helpful because if for whatever reason somebody takes one of these cables and it stays in the car, I know right out of the gate, like, hey, that's mine, and I don't have to think about it, and it just makes them easy to identify. And then the last couple things, I've got a super generic pen flashlight that's Insignia. This is from Best Buy, from when I worked there. I'm sure ages and ages ago. But just a couple AAAs, nothing fancy. It just gets the job done. But it's nice to have a spare flashlight in there. And then the last thing, and probably the most transformative, is the key fob. April's spare key fob. So the only thing that I yes, I care about the Victorinox because that was a gift from a coworker, but that and the key fob are like the only things that I would really not be happy about losing. And so for the most part, not really attached to much in here. And the key fob I'm only attached to because they're expensive to replace. But this has been really handy. One, because I don't have to think about anything. I've removed that bit of friction from my life. So anytime I need to take April's car, I don't have to ask her where her keys are. I don't have to remember to put her keys back. I just go grab the Go pouch, and that's it. And in addition to that, this has also come in handy. The other day, we were at Costco. And Costco with 3 small children, not the most fun in the world. It was interesting. We had gone through the whole store. The cart was loaded. We were about to check out, and the boys kind of started to, So I didn't have to make her find her keys. I just took this out to her car, and I was able to get in the car, start the car, get the boys, settled and ready to go, and she stayed there and checked out. So it's come in handy in a few different ways. Anytime I need to move the car or run to town, I just grab this, and I'm set. And it's a simple idea. Again, I don't think it's anything that's very life-changing or crazy, but it's made a big difference in like day to day and like using when I need to use her car. This is super handy. So let me know what you guys think. Is the Go Pouch a nice idea, or am I ridiculous and too extra? It could be both. I don't know. But I think that's about it. We're going to keep this one a little short. I've got a couple of topics and a couple of things coming up. So we'll have some longer episodes, but again, I kind of wanted to hit on the mixed bag of like new fixed blade, the gathering news, and the Go Pouch. And that was it. So still working on video stuff. So if you're listening back to this, again, go check out YouTube and let me know what you guys think. I found some new lights. It looks to, and I'm really trying my best not to like look down all the time, but to me, I don't know if it's the hat or if it's the light, and I need to figure that out, but it looks a little harsh. I probably need to dial it back and cool it off a little. It's pretty warm, but I got 2 of them, so of course you can't see it, but there's a light behind me too, different than what I had last week. So these are adjustable and they're not fancy. They weren't expensive at all. I think after like the Amazon coupon, they were like $16 a piece, but fully adjustable, magnetic, tripod bases, clamp bases. I mean, it came with everything I needed. So trying to get this to a point where everything is sort of locked in. I'm still trying to figure out, like, do I leave this light on? Do I turn it off? Does this look better? Has this been creepy? I don't know. But I'm figuring all this out. It's a learning process for me, but it's fun. So that's why I'm going to continue doing it. And I hope I just realized the fan was on. So I hope that wasn't annoying. But usually the mic does an okay job of getting that stuff out. But anyways, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys have an awesome week, good weekend, and, hopefully I can get this knocked out and edited pretty quickly and get it up, and we'll do it again next week. So, yeah, I'll end with a couple questions. Number one, what do you think of the Go Pouch idea? Are you going to try to replicate it? Is this something you've already done? Maybe it's not a new idea, and I'm just weird. And what do you guys think of the video so far? Like, is this something that you find value in? I definitely have some plans for doing some more video-centric things, showing you guys more stuff like the Go Pouch. Yeah, and more knives and other EDC gear. So if you're new around here, make sure you hit subscribe, whether it's on the podcast or on YouTube. Make sure you like. All that engagement really helps the videos. And if you're listening to the audio, be sure to go leave a review. Hit that 5-star. Awesome podcast. Greg's weird. Whatever. I don't care. But just leave those reviews. It really helps out the show. So thank you guys again. That's all I've got. I will talk to you next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Be sure to subscribe so you get new episodes every time they're released, and make sure you follow Gearing Up Podcast on Instagram so that we can stay in touch. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you next time.